Hello and welcome to another warehouse system tutorial. In this video, I'll be going over the stock order picking process. To demonstrate how this works, I have already started this stock order right here, and I'll begin by scanning the first pallet label. So once this is scanned, that window will go away, and I can begin scanning items in. But first, I'm going to go over what this table means and what each column represents. This over here on the left, under Genera PN, is the item number column. These are item numbers that are going to be seen on the labels of the items that you are scanning in, and that this will be the barcode that you scan in when picking the items. The second column right here is the locator column. This column is used to find the items on the shelves, and each locator is broken down into 3 segments. Usually the first segment here, separated by the periods, usually the first segment here represents the aisle that you will find the item on. The second segment represents the location in that aisle where it will be. And the last segment represents which shelf in terms of height that it'll be on. So say E in California, for example, would be at the top shelf and A would be at the bottom shelf. So it is just broken down into 3 segments, and this will look different for different warehouse locations. Over here under this alloc column, this allocated, it is shown the amount of pieces that is allocated for this item number for this order. So you are going to pick one piece of item number 4820042. This cancel column is just essentially showing you the amount of pieces that have been canceled for this item number. So for this order, for example, no items have been canceled. This pick column over here on the right shows you how many items you've picked for this item so far. So for example, right now it's showing 0 for all of them since we have not picked any items. This box column over here on the right shows you the box that you've put the item in. And if you use multiple boxes for one item number, so for example, with this last item number, if I were to put 3 of the 6 in one box and the other 3 in another box, it would say the word list to represent the multiple boxes. So I'll start by first scanning in a box label. I'll do box 1000, and I will pick the first item. So I will scan this item right now. And I will click on single pieces that I'm scanning. Now, as you can see, after I picked the item, it immediately disappeared off the screen. This is so it's easier for workers to see which items they still need to pick versus ones that they have already picked. But if you want to see items you have already picked, there's a button over here on the top right of the window labeled Show All. And if you click on it, it'll show you all the items that have already been scanned in as well. So, as you can see, this item, I picked one of them, as you can see under the pick column, and it is in box 1000. I'll show you another example by scanning in 3 of this item, this bottom item here, in box 1000. And now I'll scan in a new box. I'll scan in box 2000, and I'll do the next 3 pieces here. And as you can see, now it is showing as list for the box. This is because I have put this item number, some pieces in one box and some pieces in another. If you want to see all the different boxes and how many pieces are in each box for an item number, you can click on this list button over here. And it'll show you a small window that shows you for this item number, we've put 4 pieces in box 1000 and 3 pieces in box 2000. Next, I'd like to go over the item lookup button and how to use it. Over here in the top left of the window, you'll find it right here. If you click on it, a window will open. And what this allows you to do is to find information for any item that you want, even items not included in this order. So say I find an item randomly and it seems to be in the wrong place on a shelf. I can scan in the item number and it'll show me the correct locator for this item number, as well as how many are on the shelves. Once I'm done looking at this data, I can either click OK or click off the screen. Next, I'd like to show you how the Remove Items button works. So the Remove Items button works to remove any items that you've already picked, And to use it, you first need to click on the button. So it's right now the system is in remove items mode, which means that whenever I scan an item, instead of adding more, it will subtract from the amount picked. So right now I want to remove the one piece from box 1000. For me to do this, I first need to scan in box 1000 again. So right now I'm using box 2000. I'll need to scan box 1000. Now the correct box is showing at the top of the window, and I have the remove items button clicked. So I will just scan this one piece here. So I will manually scan it. And as you can see, the pick quantity went to 0 and the box disappeared because we have no pieces in boxes anymore. So that is how the remove items button works. The next button that I'd like to show you is the new palette button found here in the bottom of the window. This button is used whenever you want to add another palette to the order. And to use it, you simply just click on the button. First, it'll ask you for the location of the palette that you have already processed. Once you've entered that location, click the green save button, and then you are able to scan a new palette label to add to the order. So I'll scan a new palette now. And I can begin scanning boxes or scanning pieces directly onto the palette now. Also, to add a new palette, it is not necessary to use a new palette button. If I were to want to add a new palette right now, even though I've not clicked the new palette button, I could scan in a new palette. So I'll scan in another palette, and it'll ask me if I want to start a new palette, and if I click yes, it will update here at the top. You can see that now I am working with palette P3000. Another button that I'd like to show you is the show header button found here at the top right of the window. What it is used for is to show extra information about the order that you are processing. To use it, you just click on it, and the information will be displayed, such as the address for the customer and more information such as the weight and the number of pieces for the order. When you're done viewing this, you can either click the X here in the top right of this window or just click outside of the window. Another button that I'd like to go over is the shift mode button found here in the bottom left of the window. This button is used to move pieces and boxes to different places in the order, such as moving boxes to different pallets or pieces to different boxes or pieces onto different pallets. So to use it, you click the shift mode button and a list of all the pallets will be shown, or a list of all the boxes will be shown if you use the box mode button here at the bottom. So say for example I choose box mode, I go to box 1000 and I'll select one piece from box 1000 and I want to move that to box 2000. So I will check boxes here, click box 2000 and move selected items. I'll click yes to confirm whichever changes I've made. Now if I go back to shift mode and say I go to box mode just to check the boxes, box 1000 will have a quantity of 2 when it had a 3 before, and in box 2000 you'll see it has a quantity of 4 when it used to have a quantity of 3. And that is the basics of how the shift mode button works. We also have another video that goes into more detail on the shift mode button as well. The last two buttons I'll go over are the pause and the finish phase buttons. So the pause button is used whenever a worker is going on a break or needs to stop working just temporarily on whatever order they are on. So if I click pause, a window will first ask me if I'm sure that I want to pause the process. If I were to click yes, it would exit out of this order temporarily, and whenever I log back in, I would have the option to continue working on this order. For now, I'll click no because I'm not going to pause the order. The last button, the finish phase button, is used to close out the order whenever the worker is done and has already picked all of the pieces or has picked as many pieces as they can find on the shelves. So if I click finish phase, it'll first ask me if I am sure in the case that I have not already picked all of the items on the list. And whenever I am sure, I will click yes, and it will finish the order and push the order over to the packing process. So I will click yes to complete it, and I will click save to save the location that the pallet is going to be processed at. And that is all I have to show you for the stock order picking process.